no one has not heard the name Sherlock Holmes. Using his intelligence, experience, and patience, this detective has become a hero who found the root of many major crimes. Even today, the house at 221B Baker Street, where he lived, bears his name. Wouldn't you be surprised if some of them are letters appreciating his abilities and some are letters asking him to solve their problems? The Sherlock Holmes character is still alive today among people. Now let's see who this Sherlock Holmes is or how this Holmes character was created. Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a famous writer who lived in England. Born on May 22, 1859, in Edinburgh, Scotland, Conan Doyle's father was Charles Doyle and his mother was Mary Doyle. Mother's sole determination is to become a Conandoil doctor. Because of her efforts, Conan Doyle was able to enter Edinburgh University at the age of 18. After completing his medical degree in 1881, Doyle left the university and married Mary Louisa Hawkins in 1885. After Mary's sudden death, Sir Doyle remarried to Jean Elizabeth. Since he doesn't have many patients coming to him, he uses that time to bring to life the character of the great legend, Sherlock Holmes. Doyle met the same pair of main characters that contributed to the birth of the Sherlock Holmes character when he was studying medicine at Edinburgh University. Its leader is Mr. Joseph Bell, a likable but arrogant, fun-loving young professor who is well known among everyone in the university. He had an amazing ability to observe what he saw immediately and make very accurate assumptions. Bell amazed the patients and medical students who came to see him, and accurately told their problems by external observation before they even spoke to them. Bell was not the only character who was ideal for the creation of Holmes. Another main character paved the way for it. His name is Henry Littlejohn. Littlejohn was a brilliant practicing physician in Edinburgh. Sherlock Holmes's forensic abilities are based on Littlejohn's abilities. At the time, Littlejohn's abilities were evident in the cases of sudden death and murder in Edinburgh, and he was a pioneer of the generation that used fingerprints to search for criminals. In the name Sherlock Holmes, the Holmes part is derived from the name of Doyle's friend, Dr. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Sherlock is named after Doyle's favorite composer, Alfred Sherlock. The name Sherlock Holmes was created from the combination of these two names. As reported, Sherlock Holmes was born in 1854. He is a private detective by profession, and apart from that he is skilled in many fields like chemistry, boxing, horticulture, music, and revolver handling. His life is a brain drain. His job hobby is all this. That's why he spends time on chemistry tests when there are no criminal investigations. Holmes' parentage is unknown, and his only relative is his older brother Mycroft Holmes, who holds a top-secret job in the government. Always fond of a single life, Holmes rarely, if ever, appreciated a woman. But if there is a woman who always has his respect, it is Irene Adler, an intelligent young woman from a wealthy family. Sherlock Holmes's closest friend is Dr. John Watson. He was a doctor who first served in India under the British Army and later retired from it and became involved in Holmes' secret investigations, while running a private medical center. In the detective profession, he was also adept at following some of Holmes's methods, but he could not even come to Holmes's near. Some believe that Doyle is portraying himself as Watson. The reason is that there are many similarities between the two. Holmes's tests are presented to fans by Watson. A Study in Scarlet is the first Sherlock Holmes investigation written by Conan Doyle. This was written in 1886. Later, The Sign of Four was written as the second story. Both of these are very long investigations in the form of novels, and the character of Sherlock Holmes came to everyone's attention with the short investigation stories written by Doyle for the Strand magazine in 1890. The Sherlock Holmes stories published in the Strand magazine have become extremely popular in Europe at an unimaginable speed. Conan Doyle, who used to write in his spare time in the early days, had to give up his medical career and become a full-fledged writer because of the great popularity he received. From the first story in 1886 to the last story written in 1927, Arthur Conan Doyle wrote 60 Sherlock Holmes stories. They included 56 short stories in the sub-books His Last Beau and 4 long stories called A Study in Scarlet, The Hound of the Baskervilles, The Sign of 4, and The Valley of Fear. In addition to Sherlock Holmes stories, books like White Company, The Lost World, Rodney Company, Micah Clarke, Sir Nigel, and works with historical knowledge were written by Conan Doyle. Conan Doyle naturally became the richest writer in England at that time. During the Second Boer War, between 1899 to 1902, Conan Doyle was knighted by King Edward VII of Britain for his excellent work as a volunteer doctor for Britain at the Langman Field Hospital in Bloemfontein. After that, he became Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. At some point, Conan Doyle gets tired of writing Sherlock Holmes stories over and over again. One day, while Sir Doyle was visiting Switzerland with his wife, Conan Doyle decided to kill his greatest character at Reichenbach Falls. According to the November 1893 story, The Final Problem, the 37-year-old detective plunges from Reichenbach Falls while battling his worst rival, and was death. Conan Doyle thus ends the Sherlock Holmes stories to resume his career in medicine. The death of this greatest detective has shocked and angered Sherlock Holmes fans all over the world. Conan Doyle even started receiving death threats from fans. There were protests against him in front of the house. Because of this, Conan Doyle reluctantly has to bring back the world's only consultant detective. Death-defying Holmes returns, surprising even Watson. It is disguised as an old bookseller, The Adventures of the Empty House. Even in the last published story of 1927, The Mystery of Shoscombe House, there is no mention of Holmes' death. As mentioned in the story His Last Beau, Holmes, who retires from the criminal investigation profession, spends his free time raising bees in the county of Sussex. The main reason for this is the weakening of memory due to the state of dementia that occurs with age. Don't forget to subscribe to us and click the bell icon to watch such interesting information daily. Thank you.